good morning, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Very happy for you to be here. This is Parker's Pitch, and my name is Parker. This weekend, we have a very important game against Newcastle United. They're a team that's doing really well right now. They haven't lost in well over a month. They're running on a high. Right now, we're doing the opposite, Tottenham. We need a win. We lost this week, early in the week against Manchester United. We need to get our confidence up. We need to do something. We need to change. So this is going to be a big game for both of us. And this week, I've actually brought on two guests with me. Leo, you know Leo, the other host of Mile High Hotspur. And then I'm bringing on another guest, Steve, a Newcastle fan. So he's going to give us some insight about the club and how he became a fan and stuff like that. So you don't want to miss this one. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. That'll be very helpful for us, as well as hitting that like button. That shows me that you enjoy the content, and that is very much appreciated. So, without further ado, let's bring on the guests. Joining me today is the other half of Mile High Hotspur, Leo. I'm sure you guys know him. How you doing, Leo?
What's up, my homie? Thank you for inviting me on this show. It's gonna be fun talking to the homie about Newcastle. I'm excited for the show. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And my other guest is Steve, Newcastle fan from New Hampshire. How you doing, Steve?
I'm pretty good, bro. Pretty straight. Feeling good about Newcastle. Very, very good.
Are you? Yeah, we'll get into that. I first wanted to start off by asking you, how did you become a Newcastle fan?
Well, basically, my mom used to work at this bakery, and this guy that went there a lot is from Newcastle. His name's Steve, actually. He drives an Aston Martin and everything. He's got like this fucking crazy accent, very thick Geordie accent. And I was watching the Premier League as a neutral for about 2-3 years. And so he was like, well, what team do you support? I'm like, I just watch as a neutral. And he was like, all right, well, then I'm going to make you be a Newcastle fan then. And he bought me a shirt. And everything. So, and then I was like, okay, I'm stuck with them. Cool. This is what it is. And,
Yeah. And here you are today. How old were you?
So I'm 21 right now, probably about 16, 15, something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started off being a Newcastle fan before the takeover. So that's always something to say at least, right?
Absolutely, bro. And like I said, like I was showing you guys backstage, I've got 40 Newcastle shirts. I've been working on this collection for some time. So yeah, I've been around the block with Toon Army. So yeah, takeover was great and all that. Absolutely. So
yeah, that's where I was gonna go. What do you think about the takeover? Like, are you surprised for the transfers that you've had so far? Are you kind of disappointed, or what do you think about that?
Oh, nah. I couldn't be disappointed. It would be illogical too. I mean, if you guys signed guys like Jacob Murphy for 12 million and, some other average players, no ambition under Mike Ashley, negligence of the club, complete disrespect to people like Francesco Colacini, guys like that, a situation where he had cancer and then wanted to, he's looking for a contract renewal. And then Mike Ashley just said, basically, yeah, screw off. We're not renewing, stuff like that. Then he dispute about the wages because he was undergoing cancer treatment, just shit like that. He was a really, 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 really horrible person for the club. Yeah. Training facilities were crap. The stadium was, starting to really, really have some problems in terms of maintenance and the way it looked. He didn't give a damn about the club. He used it for money to promote Sports Direct and whatnot. So to hell with him. And that's all I wanted with this, with the takeover. It didn't have to be the PIF. It didn't have to be. It could have been someone with less money than Mike Ashley. I would have been cool with that. I just wanted some ambition, something new, because under Mike Ashley, there was only one way we were going, and that was down to the championship. And we could have became one of those clubs like Leeds, where we go to League One and suffer. So ultimately, that's what that was about. It's a bonus to me that they just happen to be extremely wealthy. It's a bonus. And that just means the ambition that us Newcastle fans can have and the city of Newcastle, something to look forward to, is tremendously high. The sky's the limit. So that's my take on it.
Did the way that the Saudi group purchased your club, did that divide your guys' fan base at all? There's some fans that would be like, no, I don't want, for example, oil and gas money, like a
Right.
Manchester City. I don't know the whole background as to where, you guys get your money from, but there was no division in the fan base at all. Was everybody kind of just on the same page, happy to get rid of Mike Ashley?
I have not met a Newcastle fan. I'm sure they're out there that didn't want the oil money or whatever, but I mean, I don't know if you guys saw any of the videos of Newcastle once the takeover was announced. It was everybody in their thousands around St. James's Park. Just absolute jubilation. It was ecstasy.
It's like they signed Alan Shearer again.
Yeah, it's like we won we won a trophy for the first time in 50 odd years. I mean, I was over the moon. I was, and most Newcastle fans, I'd say 99% were. I haven't met
Mike
someone.
Ashley
It was horrible.
was not very popular among Newcastle fans. That's for sure. I think everybody knew that. Yeah.
I wouldn't wish him upon any club. I wouldn't wish him upon any club because ultimately he runs that club. He ran our club near to the ground. So I wouldn't wish that upon anyone because it's just shit. It just feels like crap supporting a club with no ambition, relegation battles, crappy football.
Yeah, and like you said, like a terrible stadium too. It was starting to look bad and stuff. So, I think we're lucky to have Daniel Levy, in charge.
Did
of
a
Spurs,
brilliant job mortgaging the stadium pre-COVID too. It was a very smart business tactic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Steve, who is your favorite Newcastle player?
Favorite player right now, I would probably say it's really, really tough because so many of the guys are just extremely likable and talented, and they work hard. I've always liked Fabian Schär. A lot. I just think he's a very unique center back in terms of he can score goals kind of at a regular pace. Very good dead ball situations, playing out from the back. I just always loved
a fantastic goal earlier this season. So.
Yeah, against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. So I've always been a fan of his. Definitely Schär for me.
Yeah.
I would say.
What about your all-time favorite player? Maybe somebody that's not even playing now, or maybe somebody in the past.
I'd probably say, based off all the videos and things and the research I've done and all this stuff, my favorite was probably a guy like that's a tough one. I'd probably go with a guy like Johan Kabay, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd go Kabay. But
he was fantastic.
You have a bunch to pick from Alan Shearer. Guys
Ben Arfa even was
on Ben Arfa. Aye, exactly.
But fair play to you for picking Johan Kabay, bro. I mean, that's that you obviously watched him. I mean, I don't know how much you watched him play at his peak, but if you've watched videos of him, then you have an understanding and a respect for Johan Kabay. Parker and I hold like a Musa Dembele in that regard. It wasn't your freaking dream signing or nothing like that, but when he played football, he was just beautiful. You know what I mean? The way he played and the way he demanded the ball and the way he commanded the field. So
the quality.
Yeah.
And the what made Dembele special was the physical nature of him, but he was also gifted athletically. Like the way he would pivot his body and win balls back at these crazy angles. It's almost like what Kovacic does for Chelsea. He's just a freak of nature kind of midfield. Like he's a boss. He's a boss for you guys. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I like. Yeah, Kabay. I really like beautiful football. And Kabay was that. He's beautiful at the ball at his feet, could pick a pass from anywhere, free kicks. Just a machine, bro.
He did really well at Crystal Palace, I think, after he left.
He did all right there, yeah. But yeah, I'd probably say all time, probably Kabay, but lots and lots of players to pick from. Obviously, Colaccini deserves a shout out. Alan Shearer, bunch of guys. Darren Peacock, rock solid defender. Steve Watson. Shaka Hislop spent some time with us too. Shea Given, obviously. But Yeah, just probably say goodbye. To be honest, that's just the kind of footballer I kind of like, really. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I want to talk about Newcastle's rivals because I know like Sunderland really aren't in the Premier League
Number
right
one.
now. They're
Number
far
one
away.
Yes,
Who
they
is,
are.
who do you think is like your biggest rival at the moment?
I hate Everton. Everton easily.
Okay.
Be Everton just because they like to associate with Sunderland for whatever strange reason. I don't know why, but
Interesting.
they try to make us like a derby kind of thing. So it's like, all right, if you're gonna do this kind of weird that whatever, then all right, well, fuck you, I guess. Like, I don't know. This is
You gotta
weird
have a
position
rival,
to be
right?
in. Aston Villa, they're also bums. That hope them and Everton rest in piss, to be honest. Manchester United, bums.
Yeah.
Arsenal,
What's the
I don't really like Arsenal at all.
Well, yeah, neither
What's
do
the
we.
closest Premier League team to you guys now, distance-wise?
Probably Leeds.
Leeds.
I'm not Leeds'
You
biggest fan
normally,
either, but I don't hate them nearly as
normally,
much as Everton.
oh, okay. I was gonna say normally you kind of use distance to gauge like how big of a rivalry was. Because I know Parker and I were wondering like who did these guys beef with now that Sunderland's like right now they're
Probably
kind of-
Everton. Probably
that's
Everton.
cool. I didn't know that, bro. That's dope.
Yeah. No,
Parker
fuck
hates Everton.
Everton. And when I talk to guys on the channel when they go away to Goodison Park, bro, it's Woodison Park. The stadium's it's a piece of shit stadium. It's
Yeah.
so they don't like going there on away days. They really don't.
That's funny.
They scouts Mackems. That's yeah. So I'd say Everton, followed up by Manchester United, Aston Villa. So
Yeah.
Parker,
Well-
I have a question for our guests. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
of course.
What do Newcastle fans think of Tottenham playing against Tottenham? There's obviously no rivalry there. Do you guys share? We share a lot of historical, similarities in the as far as like not having a trophy lately. A huge divide with our fans and our ownership. Granted, they are different brands of ownership. The Enid Group is a lot different than what Mike Ashley and Sports Direct were, but like it seems like it's the same type of hate that gets lashed out. I just wanted to know, like, do Newcastle fans like, do they ever, is there anything that Tottenham, has done to them, or are we in good grace with the Newcastle faithful? Or
No opinion. I mean, I like bantering you guys, but it's like, I mean, we haven't won a trophy in 50 years, so I can't really say much. But
Yeah.
I don't really have any ill will against you. Like I wouldn't have any ill will towards like Southampton or Norwich.
Yeah, you don't care either way,
I mean, I don't like Manchester United. I don't like Aston Villa, Everton, Liverpool are really really annoying as well.
Yeah.
Really about it. I don't really mind. Chelsea I have no ill will towards. Man City, same thing.
What
Really.
about the filth Arsenal?
Huh?
What about the filth Arsenal?
No, Arsenal, no, because in the 90s, they beat us out on trophies and shit, like FA Cup final and whatnot, and I played some very, very good games against them. So, yeah, Arsenal, nah, fuck them. I don't care about Arsenal now.
Yeah, we like to hear that for sure. I think Newcastle are one of those teams this year that have gotten so close to winning a lot of their games.
6
and
draws, yeah.
Falling short, at the last minute,
Yeah.
Who do you think Newcastle need, like in January, to, turn those draws into wins and, become a competitor for like Europe this year?
A few names really stick out to me, obviously. James Maddison will be a great attacking midfield reinforcement. Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen. An outside shout for me, someone that we haven't necessarily been linked with, are guys like Seko Fofana from Lens, Dango Awatara from Lorient. The same thing with his strike partner, Tere Mofi, the Nigerian. Very, very good striker. I like guys. I watch a lot of Liga because we traditionally sign a lot of players from there. If you think of Hatem Ben Arfa Kabay, guys like that.
A lot of French guys.
So I really like Liga a lot. So I watch a lot of that league. Or even guys, I'd like to take chances on guys like Matteo Guendouzi, because I think he's a very quality player. And at Olympique de Marseille, he's been maturing a lot. And I think in his first year there, when Sampaoli was there, he put his arm around him, and they're both kind of crazy bastards, and they kind of just understood each other, and they found a role. I just think Guendouzi has really turned a corner. So I'd love a Guendouzi or Gerson at Marseille. So
we don't like Guendouzi over here, that's for sure.
No, I know you don't. Yeah, fair enough. But I personally I admire him because he's a very, very talented player. And I think if you were to take off your Spurs agenda for a moment, but he was a quality player in the Premier League, but his discipline issues kept coming up as an issue. I think that's ultimately why Arsenal were like, all right, we can't do this anymore. So, but I think at Marseille, yeah.
I was going to say, for some reason, Xhaka's the same way, and they've kept him. But yeah,
exactly. And I think Guendouzi, as a footballer, is so much better than Xhaka. But, whatever. It's not my fucking club. But, yeah, I'd love Guendouzi, guys like that. But, yeah, I mean, probably recruitment-wise, that's what I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are like the richest club right now. So, really, like you said, the sky's the limit with your transfers. So, you got to have like a high,
Don't be at FFP. You do have to stick to that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, you can buy somebody for $80 million probably still, So it's exciting times for Newcastle fans. I feel like. Yeah, I'm actually impressed with Almiron this year. Because last year, I know he got some stick. We all remember Grealish, giving him a jab earlier in the season, but. No, he's definitely impressed, I think, for you guys this season. I think he just scored another one this weekend. So what do you think?
4-4 in October. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely doing good.
Last goal was a beauty, bro.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Took it first time from Guimaraes. Wonderful. And I watched many replays of it. What made that strike so brilliant? He actually kind of, he kicked his foot almost into the ground to give it that jump. But in hitting it that way, it curved at the perfect moment so that little T-Rex arms, he couldn't, even a long goalkeeper with long arms couldn't have gotten to it. It was brilliant goal. And he did that in milliseconds. So Miggy has just, I think he's just been tremendous. One thing he's definitely improved upon is his decision-making and he's not so frantic on the ball. Off the ball, he's allowed to be. Because that's what makes him go. That's what makes him tick. He's a energetic box to box. Does a brilliant job covering ground and all that. But I think what Eddie has been working on with him is composure with the ball at his feet. Yeah, you don't need to run 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just be composed. We know you're fast, but being fast on the ball is something that's very difficult to do, and that's what he would struggle with. So I think that's one thing that he's very, very improved on. That's why we're seeing such good form out of Miggy because he's slowing down just a little. That's for me why I think he's improved tremendously.
I definitely would have to say a big up to Miguel Almiron, because let's just face it, bro. Last year, this is a player we're talking about, easily replaced by a bunch of different players, that could step in and take his position.
Yeah.
But the man has put his head down, bro, like you said, and he's paying attention to his instruction, and he easily knows, I'm playing for the richest club, in the world probably right now. If I can apply myself and if I could do what I'm told to do and I excel how my manager wants me to do, then I probably, at least there's a place for me on this team, because let's face it, Newcastle are going places, and the last thing you want to do is to be sold from a team like Newcastle right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah, fair play to him, bro, because he's probably not the first player on everybody's fantasy league, you know what I mean? Because he's just not the big name, but he's playing for a team, that's definitely going places, and he's making his bid, bro, to keep his spot. Honestly, he's making his bid to stay on the team for sure.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Eddie Howe wanted, and that's what all the fans wanted, was to make players feel the sense of urgency to perform because the stakes are so high. You know, we're not taking no passengers on this upward trajectory because you're not going to have an upward trajectory with inferior players. You have to upgrade them. So who wants to stay? Stake your claim. That's what ultimately has happened. Exactly. Yeah, earn your paycheck. And if you want to keep getting and rise to the very top, or at least be on the journey for it for a long time, then you got to start playing well because the standards have
stepped up.
Exactly. And it's been amazing what Miggy's doing. It's been amazing. So
yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about your coach as well, Eddie Howe. I think he's probably one of the best managers right now. Do you think he's the right man for the job for what you guys are trying to do?
Absolutely. Like I said, with Newcastle, sky's the limit. And I think with Eddie Howe, the same thing applies. I think sky's the limit with this guy. Remember, he took Bournemouth from, I believe it was either relegation from League 2 to the National League, or League 1 to the relegation to League 2. It was either one of those. I believe it was League 1 to League 2. I could be wrong. But anyways, Bournemouth were on the brink of bankruptcy, and they were about to get relegated, and Eddie Howe accepted a role as a player manager and had his career from there. And then from then on out, he would pay salaries of the players and really he'd get his hands dirty and you know, learn how to be a player manager and whatnot. Took them to the championship, won the championship, and then stayed in the Premier League as manager of Bournemouth for 5 consecutive years. I mean, if we look at it, that's taking someone from the bottom for Bournemouth, the very top, and they had a top 10 finish too. So they weren't far off of making a Europa League place. So that's like the peak of Bournemouth that you can get. Now, with let's compare and contrast with Newcastle's bottom, which was last season when we were bottom with Burnley. We would go Burnley 20th, Newcastle 19th. Next week it would be this. And it was all that way. 1 win in 17, none under Bruce. And then from there on out, with a few signings in January, yes. But it's how we spent the money. It's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've had 2 losses at St. James's Park since he's taken over, and that was to Manchester City and Liverpool. The 1-0 loss to Liverpool and the 4-0 by Manchester City. But the most recent time we played Manchester City at St. James's, we drew 3-3, obviously. So the progression of Eddie Howe, I see this exactly how I see what he did at Bournemouth. We were at a low point. We were going to go down if we didn't get that takeover and Steve Bruce sacked. We were going to go down. It was hopeless. He came in, and PIF came in and saved us, and we survived the Premier League in style. We finished 12th or 11th. It was one of those two. Again, I could be wrong, but we finished with like style, bravado. Like it was crazy. And then now, look at where we're at right now. We had the best. It's only 11 games in. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
we had the best defense. So I see Eddie Howe as, I feel that he can do what he did at Bournemouth, taking from the bottom to the top. I feel like he can do exactly that at Newcastle United. I think he'll win a trophy with us, whether that be an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. I think he'll win that, possibly even this year. You never know. I think we might win the FA Cup. I give us a very good shout on that, to be honest, because I feel like the spirit he's built within the team, the positivity and the feeling, the aura around the club, it's just amazing. So yes, for me, Eddie Howe, and as soon as he came in, I was like, yes, this is exactly what we need, because we need a guy that does a project where you can take clubs levels and to the next level. Bournemouth, League 1, Championship, Premier League, stay in the Premier League for 5 years. So Newcastle, relegation candidates, challenging for Europe, top 4 contenders, Champions League regulars, title contenders, title winners, Champions League contenders, Champions League winners. There's a lot of levels to Eddie Howe that he still has to go at Newcastle. But he's got the money, he's got the emotional intelligence and the man management skills to do just that.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited to see what he can do. I'm loving it.
Steve, I got a question for you real fast, bro. Let's take off, like you said, take off your Tottenham hat and take off your Newcastle hat. Who wins a trophy first, bro?
What a hell of a question.
Like you said,
Surely,
a League Cup.
surely Kane has to get something. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, that's a real bummer. That is a real bummer because, Alan Shearer, albeit he didn't win the Premier League with Newcastle, at least he won one with Blackburn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's got to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
First. I mean, we know that eventually both of our clubs are going to win a trophy eventually sometime. But if you were like a betting man, a neutral, would you place your money on Tottenham to win something first or Newcastle?
I would probably go Spurs, to be honest, just because if it don't work out with Conte, well, then he'll probably leave this year. Maybe you'll bring in someone else. Maybe Kane's still there. I don't know. I don't know. It's really tough because I really do think we have a decent shot at the FA Cup, but I would say Spurs. I think you guys could win Carabao Cup at least, but then again, Conte isn't necessarily a cup manager. It's more of a league guy, but this is a good question. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Newcastle's going to win a trophy first or Spurs?
Leah, what do you think about that?
Spurs, baby. No, I'm kidding. I look. All team hats aside, I think Spurs are probably closer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we
yeah.
do have no knock to Eddie Howe. We do have a more prestigious coach.
Of course.
We do have a more prestigious lineup.
Of course.
But with that also comes bigger problems. You know what I mean? Just look at all the bullshit that Antonio Conte is getting right now because of, a loss at Old Trafford. I think Spurs, and that's not me being biased. Anything can happen. Newcastle could I just think Newcastle is still, fighting to become a top six club.
We're still progressing. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but that does not mean they cannot win a trophy this year.
Bloody Swansea won the Carabao Cup in 2012. Swansea.
Yeah. Wigan winning.
Wigan
winning.
City.
So
Or no,
happen,
made
bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They made the final. I don't think they won.
They made Arsenal. Right. Okay.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean? Anything is given. Any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
So talking about Sunday, actually, Steve, what do you think about this game? Because I know we're talking about the season as a whole, but what are your thoughts on this game? Are you confident that we're gonna win, or that you guys are gonna win, or do you think Spurs are gonna win, or what do you think what do you think your score prediction is?
My immediate gut instinct after the Manchester United game that you guys lost 2-0 was I feel absolutely incredible about. I feel very, very confident. Not only do we have the best defense in the Premier League, we've shown that we can play ball too. Like really, really some very good one-touch football, and we can drag guys out of position, and we can utilize all of these players to chip in with different goals in different ways. So I do still feel pretty good. I think it'll be a draw. I think I'm going to go 1-1. Just because I feel like you guys are very different at home compared to away. I feel like when you're at home, you do very well. You win the majority of your games. And I feel like it was the same thing with Manchester United. Away from home, they're a bit suspect. But usually at Old Trafford, they do all right. And I feel like you guys are kind of in the same boat. But with Newcastle, we've been getting results home and away. Remember, it took a 98th minute controversial winner for Liverpool to beat us in the 98th minute. So, I mean, we're pushing everyone. We are giving absolutely everyone, no matter who it is, a game. Very, very competitive game where we show that we can, play a game of two halves. We could dominate the whole game. We could sit back for a lot of it, soak up pressure, get a goal on the counter. We're a very, very the foundation and the philosophy of Eddie Howe, he doesn't make that his absolute priority. He's flexible because he wants to play very, very nice football. But one of the criticisms with him at Bournemouth was, well, defensively, they're shite. Well, yes, they were. They weren't that great defensively, but they scored and attacked the opposition. They got wins over Chelsea at home and Arsenal, I believe. And, they gave everyone in the top 6 a really, really good game. So I feel like it will be a draw just because, like I said, you guys are usually very solid at home, but we have been, remarkable, to be honest. Yes, the draws have that might cost us from breaking into top 6, but you know what? I think here's my stance on this. I think if we win on Sunday, I think we put ourselves into a battle for 5th place. Because you know what a team does that breaks into 5th place? Goes and beats Spurs away. Goes and draws against Manchester City. Stuff like that. But start winning the top 6 games. That's what you got to do
to get there.
And we beat Arsenal, and we've shown that we can do it. We've beaten last year Arsenal at home. Stuff like that. And I feel very, very confident about it. But I do feel like it will be a draw. I don't know how you guys feel. I also feel like that you guys need to come out of your shell under Conte a lot more. When this guy was at Inter Milan, he wasn't playing like that. He wasn't. And albeit, the players at Inter that he had were very different from Spurs. You guys on Wednesday played essentially a 3 kind of there wasn't an attacking midfielder in there. They're all defensive, ball winners, that kind of stuff. But the progression going forward on the attack, I was just like, well, who do they have there? Perisic, yeah, he's decent. I just feel like with 3-5-2 under Spurs, and you have to play like that because of your injuries. Yeah. I feel like if you shut down Son, Harry Kane, yes, he can drop back and create, but I feel like if in that formation in 3-5-2, you can cut out, if you can man mark and make Son a non-factor in the game, that also means that Kane loses some of his effectiveness because of the fact that he drops deep and whatnot. That's my philosophy on it.
Bro, what is Spurs missing, bro? If I can ask you to give your honest opinion, as an outsider looking in, what is Tottenham doing wrong, bro?
Bravery. Bravery.
Inviting you guys to come in and try to counterattack you guys, or what?
I'm saying you guys need to be more brave, like the players and stuff. Okay. They need to start grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and being like, no. We're playing against you at White Hart Lane. We're gonna smoke you 4-0. Like that ruthlessness, the cutting edge.
Is that a reflection on Conte's management? It's a reflection. Or is that just,
in my opinion,
perception in general?
It's a 50-50 split because you guys, your players, I think some of their mentality's lacking. But also maybe Conte sees that and is like, you know what, these guys aren't the strongest mentally, some of them.
Yeah.
So I gotta kind of cover them and duct tape and mask their deficiencies. And I just think that's kind of again, the way he played at Inter, he was dominating teams. Say what you want about who he had on his team and whatnot. You guys have a very good roster. There are some holes in it. There are some things that are lacking, but
we have a squad, bro.
You have a very decent squad. A world-class striker. Son Heung-min is a very, very good player. Perisic is class. You've got Højbjerg rough as nails midfield. There's Højbjerg. Yeah. Emerson, or not Emerson, Royale. Royale is hit or miss, bro.
He's the best wing back we have, bro.
No, yeah, and then Doherty is just, I don't even know. I really don't. I think he's rubbish for the most part,
bro. That's our weakest spot.
But yeah,
and you know what? You're only, I say this all the time. Whenever I go on YouTube or anyone's show, I always talk about, when we're talking about teams, you are only as strong as your weakest link.
That's life in general, brother.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So that to me, that's your biggest problem. Bravery in terms of go forward, attack, show who's boss. Because I'm feeling very good about going to White Hart Lane. That shouldn't be that way. guys should be blitzing teams. I feel like with Frankfurt, I like the way you fought back. That was brave. Because I watched that game. It was the 3-2 win at White Hart Lane, but away from home, the bravery really becomes an issue for me, and I think that's why you look different. It's like whenever they face adversity, when there's a tough crowd, it's like they go missing. To me, like the Arsenal loss at the Emirates, I saw it coming from a million miles away because you know what, you guys haven't won there in a very long time, and you know what, that's a mental thing. That's a mental thing because you guys have had better teams than Arsenal and still lost to Arsenal away because it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. And I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah, that's really hard to fix because it's like a new manager can come in, and that's happened before with us. You know, we've gotten new managers, and it's like almost the same thing year after year. So, yeah, a lot of us are not as confident as you are coming to this weekend. You know, like you said, our weakest link right now is our right back end. I would love to see Jed Spence come in on the right. I think that would change.
That's what's frustrating, and sorry to cut you off. That ties into my thing with bravery about Conte. Be brave. Give a kid a chance. Give the kid a chance. You can't. Why did you buy him? You have underperforming. What other section of life does a person in a specific role be inconsistent at the very best of times? So they're inconsistent, and most of the time they're just crap. They're ineffective. They don't do their job correctly. And a young gun comes in who's got some talent, and he doesn't get a chance. It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like that's the bravery thing also. That's a Conte thing. Yeah. Be brave. Make a change.
Yeah, I think Conte is kind of one of those managers was like, you know, I didn't necessarily want him on the team, so I don't really see him playing any minutes this year. So
that's a bummer.
It was more of like a club signing sort of thing.
Another thing I'd like to point out with Spurs, I'm very confused by them because I feel like you brought in a manager like Antonio Conte. Yeah, if you look at his resume, he doesn't stay at places for very long. So he basically is a win now manager. Okay, then why did you buy guys for the future? Your squad is a mix. I don't know what it is. It's a mix of has-beens. It's a mix of youngsters with potential, youngsters performing, old guys who have been there for years performing. It's just this odd mix. It's like, do you want to win now because the manager's there? Or do you want to project? But then if it's a project, why is Conte there?
Yeah, to be fair, though, you guys, and then we can go on to the next thing, Parker, just real quick. I think, you know, when Conte has been he stated publicly how he would like to emulate a Jurgen Klopp style of management at Tottenham Hotspur, being that like he would love to start a dynasty. You know, it's well documented that Antonio Conte does stay at places for a short period of time, but he always has underlining issues as to why he leaves, right?
Arguments with owners.
Yeah, as long as we could keep the titty in his mouth and keep him drinking drinking the good milk, then he should be happy, right? And we're showing, you know, it is a mix, bro. It is. We do have to also look for our future and the short time, right? It's you want to band-aid up something right now, but you want to still look for the future. And I think Tottenham is doing that. I'm a firm believer that like Conte and the board know a lot more than what, you know, meets the eye.
Of course.
You know, they're not going to put all their cards out to you know. Conte has said this is going to take like three to four transfer windows. We're only onto his second transfers window coming up. You know what I mean? Full attacking it like with his all. This is going to be the second window. That last January window was kind of like half-assed. But we got two great signings, got rid of players. That's another thing is our club needs to get rid of a lot of dead weight. We still need to get rid of a lot of dead weight, you know. So I think little by little, our club is definitely going in the right direction. We're it's like, look, bro, I'm going to put this analogy out there. You see the hottest chicks, bro, with the ugliest guys. Why? Because they sit there like this and they're like, tell me about your day. How was your day? Tell me more. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're doing to Conte, bro. We're the ugly motherfucker with the sexiest bitch on the block, bro. And we have to literally, like, just appease to him, bro. That's how it is. Let's be real. That's how it is, dude. And as long as we
Because
keep
he's
doing that,
proven that he'll win.
yeah.
And he
Yes,
wants to go
exactly
but
right.
he wants to go about it in a different way. My only rebuttal to that is I don't even want to speculate the mental health of Conte or the mental state of him because it's so flummoxing. You know what I mean?
He knows what he got into, though, bro. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he knew exactly what he was walking into.
Yeah.
So.
I always have in the back of my head, like, if Sky Sports just says Antonio Conte fucks off, I'm like, oh, that's not surprising. You know what I mean? Do you guys have that in the back of your head?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that surprised. I would be. No. I wouldn't be not surprised, but I would be initially surprised, but then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Conte. Oh, okay, yeah, he's doing his outburst.
It can happen, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to back him this January, especially, if we're going down the same road as what we're doing now. We're kind of like going a little bit downhill. After that Manchester United loss, that was a big deal. But we've also lost and came back the next game and won. So, we never know what can happen. We can bounce back after that loss for sure. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So what is your score prediction, Steve?
I am going 1-1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You already said that tie 1-1. Yeah. Leo, what is your score prediction?
Yeah.
I think we'll nick it. I'm gonna go 2-1. I definitely think Newcastle has a goal or 2 or 3 in them, honestly. Hugo is not the best at keeping clean sheets. Granted, that has a lot to do with our midfield and our defense.
Yes.
But I do think
and he was incredible for you Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. That's what I was gonna bring up.
Worldy. But if it comes to blows for blows, I think Tottenham will edge it out. If it comes to that, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It depends on what formation we try to play, and it depends on the personnel. I'm starting to hate trying to predict this games because Tottenham is like the one consistency in Tottenham is the inconsistency. So, but if I had to put some money on it, I'm going 2-1. Yeah. And I laugh because I'd probably lose my money.
2-1. That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, you guys are good at home. And there have been multiple games this year where you haven't looked amazing, but you pulled out the win.
Yeah.
So I respect
We're starting to make the lane. We're starting to make the lane our fortress, bro. So that's
do you feel like
I would edge it out.
Do you feel like though that Newcastle could punish you on it? So I'm thinking about the Wolves game. You weren't amazing and they are poor, so you won. You got away with it. Yeah. I'm thinking about the game against Marseille, West Ham. Those games you got over the line because your opponents weren't as good and they weren't clinical enough or whatever to punish you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Newcastle are good enough to punish you for not having a good performance or whatever or whatnot?
Parker?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone's capable of punishing, other teams. I think Newcastle is definitely, one of those teams. I think they're in form. But then kind of like what you said, I think Lloris is kind of like confident right now. I think he's on a high.
Yes.
He can make, 6-7 saves a game. So, we never know. So I think the score prediction will be 2-2 or 2-1.
Don't fence it. Don't fence it. Pick one.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2-1, just like Leo. Because I think, like I said, I think Lloris is gonna make some saves, but it's definitely gonna be a tough game, and I don't know. We tend to counterattack so much, and I think teams are starting to figure that out. And I think Newcastle are one of those good defensive teams that can figure that sort of thing out. So if Son's on form again, then I think we'll score a couple goals. If he's blanked, then I could see us losing or even tying. So that's how I feel.
I think we have a chance to nick it, and it piles on because the fact that Isak is out. And ASM is out.
100%.
ASM can
If we had them,
change a game. Yeah.
if
It's
we had,
it's a different story, bro.
if we were full strength and you guys weren't, like if it was imaginary universe, even if I think you guys have full strength, I think we'd give you a good game,
bro.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Isak came on his debut, scored. Alex St. Maximin has a volley from wherever at any time of the day. He's not a pushover. He's a fucking saucy baller. Isak, bro. I would love to have Isak at Tottenham. I liked him when he was at what is it?
Real
Espanyol, or
Sociedad.
is it Sociedad? Yeah. Dude, he's a baller, bro.
Really good
he
player.
would definitely have good chemistry with Kulu.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who do you guys? I think you put in. I can't remember his name now in midfield to replace him. I think he's got the brother that's also on the team. What's his name? What's his name?
Longstaff.
Yeah,
Sean
Longstaff.
in midfield, and that's only because Joe Shelby had a hamstring tweak.
I can't stand John Joe Shelby, bro.
I love him. I love John Joe.
He's coming for you. He's coming for you, Harry Potter. He's coming for you. I know you know that chant, bro.
Yeah.
Dude looks like Lord Voldemort.
I didn't know it until you figured until you finished
John Joe, but the thing is, John Joe, Joe Linton, and Bruno Guimaraes, that midfield last year for us was absolutely superb. It was a very, very good midfield. Hold on. It's midfield 3. There's no true CDM, but that's because all the guys work. Essentially, how we play 3 in midfield, it's really, really interesting because with Bruno and Joe Linton, we can plug in a Cam, Madison, or we could bring in a CDM maybe. A guy that I wanted over the summer was Chic Ducore, who went to Crystal Palace. You could plug him at DM and then just say, Bruno, get more forward. Or we could put in another center mid like John Joe. That's what I love so much. And that's all by design with Eddie Howe. Because essentially they play box-to-box 8s, Bruno and Joe. So when John Joe comes in, he drops back, can start the counterattack and whatnot. And when John Joe's out, then that's Bruno doing that role and also getting attacking. So it's all such a well-worked machine and it's flexible. Yeah, but at the same time,
you guys play, bro?
Huh?
What formation do you play?
4-3-3.
Sorry to cut you off. 4-3-3?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm guessing if I were to predict the starting 11, I'd say obviously Nick Pope in goal. I'd say Trippier right back. I'd say probably, I don't know if it's going to be Schär at right center back just because he had a little bit of an injury, but I actually do think Schär will play right center back. Left center back, obviously Sven Botman, who hasn't lost a game with us so far. 9 starts, 4 wins and 5 draws. So, 4 wins, 5 draws, yeah. So, in terms of that, yeah, and then left back, it'll either be Dan Burn or Matt Target. I'm probably gonna say Target for rotation. Because Eddie Howe usually does like to. He did play last game, and he played the game before that at Old Trafford too. So I think Matt Target will get minutes just because we will have to rotate. Eddie really likes rewarding his team for wins, and I fucking love that. But I do think he will have to rotate just because of how physically demanding the way we play can be. With the high press and the beautiful football. Then midfield 3, I don't think we'll bring John Joe back in straight away. I'm thinking we might do a midfield 3 of Joe Linton, Joe Willock as kind of our attacking midfielder, like an 8 more as, and then Bruno Guimaraes, obviously, and then the front 3, it'll be Miggy Almiron, obviously. Tempted to say Chris Wood just because Callum Wilson has struggled with fitness his whole entire Newcastle career. But whenever he's not injured, he usually scores. He usually plays very well. Takes out 2 defenders straight away out of the equation. That's the advantage.
Did he play last game? Did he score, though, last game? He did?
No, he didn't score against Everton.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
But, yeah,
I think we won 1-0. Huh?
I think he did start last game, yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, he started. Yeah, Cal Wilson started the past 2 games, so I think Eddie's gonna. Honestly, I think he's gonna go Chris Wood, just because I'm doubting the fact. I don't know if I would risk Cal Wilson for 3 straight games based off of his injury record. Remember, the guy did both of his knees, so the fact that he is still knocking on the door, possibly of a England number 9 backup, is in my opinion incredible enough. But so I would go Chris Wood personally, just because of that, and then left wing. Not sure if Alain Saint-Maximin is necessarily ready, or Elliot Anderson.
Yeah,
I think I think so. Allen will be out. Jacob Murphy is not good enough for the team. He's done okay, but he's not going to be at the level. So I would play Elliot Anderson. I think it will be Jacob Murphy, though. I have a hunch about it, and I feel like we will use some, the subs will be like Callum Wilson, because you don't want to face Callum Wilson when you're tired, because he's got that short burst of pace, physicality. He's going to offer something completely different to Chris Wood. So that's how I kind of feel like our starting 11 will be. So just to repeat: Pope, Trippier, Schär, Botman, Target, Joe Linton, Willock, Bruno Guimaraes, Miggy Almiron, Chris Wood, Jacob Murphy.
Nice.
What's your lineup? What would you like your lineup?
I think both Lee and I would probably agree. We want,
3-4-3.
No,
3-5-2. That's right. Because of the
we
injury.
have to go 3-5-2. Yeah, we're I think we're forced to go 3-5-2. Parker, go ahead.
Yeah. So so we got obviously Romero in there, Dyer. Right now, I think Davies is probably looking like the most likely candidate to be the left center back.
I think Lenglet.
You think Lenglet's going to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go through it at the same time. That way, it doesn't take too much time. But
sure.
For the most part, we should probably agree.
Yeah, it's usually like between Davies and Lenglet over there, at left center back. Then we got Perisic. I think is going to be on the left. What do you think? You think Sessegnon or Perisic?
Yeah, I think Sess is going to get the nod.
Okay.
Fair.
All right.
And I hate to say this, but I think Royale stepping back into the right wing back. I fucking don't know why, but I think he
maybe just for rotation, I don't want him
play
there,
Wednesday.
But I
think that's just what's gonna happen.
So you rate Doherty over
all day?
Yeah, we all do.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with Leo. I think
then have Royale play.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think I want Doherty to play, but I think Royale will probably come in for rotation reasons, and he was out for suspension last game, so he's fit. Conte likes him. He sees something in him that we all don't for some reason, so he'll probably be on that right wing back spot over there in the midfield area. So then
Parker.
Yeah. So I got to put Højbjerg in there. Like, he's pretty much hard to drop right now. He's doing great right now. He's doing everything right.
Is he your man of the match on Wednesday?
What's that?
Who do you think was man of the match for you guys on Wednesday? Was it
Wednesday, Lloris.
Besides Hugo.
Oh, fair.
Hugo,
I forgot that.
Hugo, yeah. Hugo. Dude, our whole team was shite, bro.
Yeah.
We started off with like 2 pumps and a squirt, and that was it, dude.
True.
Yeah. Parker, what do you think about, we both agree that Højbjerg will be there. What about Bentancur? He's obviously going to keep his spot. And then
Definitely.
I would love to see like Skippy come in. You know what I mean? I would love to see maybe Skip get a nod over Basuma.
I rate him.
Maybe this might even be the game that Basuma comes out. He had a good game against our last opponent, Brighton. He played good against Brighton. You know what I mean? He played good against Frankfurt, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might just need that consistency to keep going.
Maybe, he definitely needs some minutes. And I also think that Skip has been getting some minutes too recently. He's been getting some subs in. So it might be the time that he finally gets that start.
Yeah, I like him a lot. If I were to sign a player off you, I think it'd be him. To be honest, for the future, if I'm looking at a Dan Ashworth type signing, if he don't get a lot of minutes for you guys this year and he doesn't look to, be rated by Conte.
Yeah, and we need a little bit of a change too after that loss. So I think Skip
Well,
coming
exactly.
in would be definitely a good shout. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be my midfield. Yeah. So Højbjerg, Skip, Bentancur in the middle. Then since Kulusevski is actually out right now, Richarlison is out. I guess we really have to put in,
bro.
We got to put in Lucas, for that spot.
No, but it's only 2 up front.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, that's true. We're doing 5-2. So
obviously Son Kane or Lucas.
Son and
Well,
Kane.
Yeah,
Lucas
definitely.
Will come off the bench.
Lucas will come off the bench. Yeah, so it'll be Kane and Son, obviously, but yeah, if it's not working out, I think Lucas will come in like the 50th.
How worried are you guys about a Harry Kane injury?
Bro, don't even put that in the air, Steve.
I'm not that worried about it. I don't think he's gotten a really big injury since like 4 years ago. So I think
it could happen, dude, and that
figured it out.
Well, but that's the thing. When you play football, I mean, bro, it could happen. I'm not even a football. Yeah. I could slip and fall on my ass on the stairs and be dead. You know what I mean? Like,
it wouldn't be good, especially right now with Richarlison out and Kulusevski, a couple of our attacking guys out. If Kane got injured, oh man, yeah, we would be in trouble for sure.
Now, would you guys play a 3-4-3 and have Son left wing, Lucas right wing? Because the 3-5-2 for me, the 3-5-2 for me, I just didn't feel like it worked for you guys very well because you packed the midfield, yes, but what did that get you?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe
haven't even bossed the midfield with 3 in the middle, bro.
Exactly. So I'm not sold on 3-5-2. I think 3-5-2 works.
Think we'll change it halfway through the game. I think we'll start off, as 5 in the midfield. And if things start to go south, we'll sub somebody off, put in Lucas.
Right.
Maybe we'll take off Cess, or I don't know what'll happen, or maybe even Skip. But yeah,
one of the midfielders would have to come off to make way for the attacker. Yeah. I don't, dude. I've always been a critic on Conte. The fact that like this dude will play 5 at the back at a fucking charity match, bro. You know what I mean? Like he will not even give up a spot, bro. To like that's just it's just embedded in his fucking being, bro. Yes. Like if we could do like a 4 in the back, dude. You know what I mean? A 4-3-3.
Nah, but that guy would play 4-5-1.
Yeah, or 4-5-1, bro. You're right. Yeah.
See, you could be defensive on the back 4. That's the thing. And but also the thing with formations is I think people get it twisted. It's not necessarily the formation because you could play attacking any formation you want. You could. We've seen it before. Conte's 3-4-3 isn't the same as I don't know, an easier one. Eddie Howe's 4-3-3 isn't the same as Pep Guardiola's 4-3-3. Arteta's 4-3-3 isn't the same as Manchester City's. Pep's 4-3-3. Albeit there's a quality difference in all of those teams, but the way you play the formation, it's you could be a defensive 4-3-3. You have 3 CDMs, a defensive right back, a defensive left back, 2 center backs, and 2 wing backs up to, So formation, my problem with Conte is, like I said, the way he played at Inter, it wasn't like this. And I think he could play like that. So that's what I think you guys got to do. If you can attack us, you'll get the win. I just feel like you guys have been a bit too shy and not brave enough to really take the game by the scruff of the neck.
The last time one of our players did that, Steve, was when we played against Manchester City last season and we fucking beat them.
It's almost like that's how the best teams in the world play football.
Yeah.
Attacking, everyone's comfortable on the ball, high possession, edge of the box, take shots. Yeah.
Harry Kane.
It's almost like it's a coincidence.
Harry Kane said, "I'm gonna fucking win us this game, and I'm gonna fucking do it," and he did, bro. He did. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, this team lacks balls, bro.
Bravery, yes. Yeah. Manager.
Well, it'll be a good one this weekend. So we never know what's gonna happen. There's a lot to predict. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that's pretty much all from us. I mean, do you have anything else you want to bring up, Steve or Leo or?
Yes, actually. Do you think if we win this, if Newcastle win this, do you think we're serious contenders to break into the top 6?
Yes,
To finish like 5th, or maybe even in a prayer of 4th.
I think it's a possibility. You've only
if
lost
we
one
win.
game.
If we win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because if you win against us, like you said, that does prove a point.
That's a real statement.
You're playing against, some of the best teams already. Us, honestly, we haven't played a whole lot of good teams. We lost against Arsenal. We lost against Manchester United. We beat Wolves and Brighton. Like we haven't really proved ourselves a whole lot. So, definitely. I mean, if you guys win, it'll definitely take a step, almost above us.
I'm kind of looking at it like a 6-pointer, to be honest.
It is, bro. It is.
I think it's a 6-pointer because I think if you guys lose that, then the Conte outs, those kind of people are people that exactly, and it's and if you look at the opposite side, we will be buzzing and we could genuinely talk, have a dialogue.
You just need to change those those draws into wins, and I mean if you did a couple of those, you'd probably be in the top 4 now. So
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's what happens when you have a great coach like Eddie Howe and, you have a little bit of money behind you. So,
yeah. And you spend, and it's not even about the money is important, obviously.
Players play into the philosophy, bro. Yeah. They're bought into the system. You know what I mean? Like they're.
And it's how we spent the money. The only dud that Eddie Howe's had at Newcastle United so far is Chris Wood. That one just hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
Every other transfer, though, has been like a slam dunk so far, barring Isak.
Trippier, I mean, how good has he been for you?
Trippier, one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
Yeah. We miss Trippier, bro.
Oh gosh, we miss him so much.
Trippier, one of the best right backs in the league. Top 4 best right backs in the league.
Easily, bro. Easily.
Botman, I think he's been brilliant for us. He's on form, one of the best Premier League center backs. I mean, Schär has stepped up a level. Target's a very, very smart signing. Nothing flashy, but he does his job. Dan Burton, same thing. We bought him exactly. And he's versatile. You could play him as a left back or a center back. He's kept a lot of clean sheets. So it's smart buys all across the board. Bruno Guimaraes, the cherry on top. I mean, he starts for most clubs on earth. Am I wrong?
Sure. We'd be lucky to have him too, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. And at Manchester City, he'd probably play 40, 45 games a year. Yeah. We're at Real Madrid, I bet. We're at Barcelona. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Newcastle fan. It's because that's what I've heard from non-Newcastle fans. Like, that guy he's magisterial on the ball. Like, he's just unbelievable. So, and when LS Maximin turns up, he's a good player. Yeah. Callum Wilson bangs in goals consistent. So we do have something special brewing. Yeah. So I am looking at this like a 6-pointer. It sounds like you guys are too.
Yeah. We need this win.
You exactly momentum.
Yeah, I just want to say, Steve, fair play to you, bro. For sure. I was talking to Parker earlier, and I was like, "Yo, Newcastle is definitely a team that I would follow if I was in a Spurs fan, bro." The Toon Army is fucking loud. They're proud, bro. They have a dope. It's an older stadium, but it's like a bucket list venue. You know what I mean? One that you want to check off the bucket list.
I want to check out White Hart Lane. That's what a fucking crazy cool stadium that is, by the way.
Yeah. But your stadium is, it's historical. Ours is just the latest, the biggest, best thing.
Flashy toy. So
yeah. But, as far as like you guys having like history, the black and white stripes is like one of the most traditional things a soccer team, a football team can have. You know what I mean? For me, bro, it was definitely a pleasure talking to you. I'm appreciative to Parker for allowing me to be on the stream. And like I invite you to come back and talk to both of us, when we have a stream. Not even against Newcastle, bro. Just it seems like apart from Newcastle, you like your football. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah, we'd love to have you on, man. So
of course, yeah. No, I love coming on as a neutral. Like that's what I'm trying to do on Newcastle Fans TV more. Trying to get someone who has a very well-rounded knowledge of the club. Doesn't have to be a fan. Because it's always nice to have a neutral perspective because they can look at it a different. I try to remain as neutral as freakishly possible.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honestly. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that pretty much wraps it up from us. Again, Steve, thanks for joining us. Leo, of course, thanks for coming on for the first time.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Really.
Yeah,
really.
no, it was a pleasure having you on. Some good insight there. So,
Sweet.
yeah, and may the best man win.
Break.